Thank you very much for taking this interview for CaleaEuropeana.
You're more than welcome.
We are based in Romania, and we are a website that transmits to the European Union people and citizens messages and information from around the world. I have participated in the Sawyer speech regarding the Eurasian Economic Commission, and also the speech of the conference regarding the Eurasian Union, and I think it's an important speech because what happened in the past 10 years is that some of the international organizations in the Eurasian region have integrated with one another to the point where at this moment you need to create until 2015 a Eurasian Economic Union, which resembles basically that what we do at the European Commission and the European Union and the European continent. What was the idea behind creating such a union in the Eurasian region?
Well, you have partly answered your question yourself. You said that we're following your steps, right? The steps of the European Union, and basically the values and the goals and that drove the European nations to create the European Union pretty much are the same for us as well. We share a lot in terms of culture, in terms of heritage, in terms of history. We share language because we also speak Russian language. And of course, the most important factor is economy. We have interconnected, interlinked economies because we did live for more than 70 years within the Soviet Union, and prior to that within the Russian Empire. So our economies are interconnected, and there's a big reliance on supplies from one country to another country. The way the pipelines are drawn, the way the roads are built, the way the railroads are built, so everything is linked. And of course, when you have three sets of economic policies, each independent of each other, it's pretty difficult to coordinate it, and it's pretty difficult to get the benefits that we have without the integration. So I think it's the mixture. Coming back to your question, what drove us? It's the mixture of economic needs, of pure economic, rational needs, and of course the common heritage that we have, which made it easier for us to move a little faster than you did in the European Union. Because let's face it, Belarus and Russia have a lot more in common than, for example, France and Germany, and that relates to Kazakhstan as well. So it is easier for us, and there are fewer of us. There are just only three at the moment. So that's why we're moving a little bit faster. And plus, you have been a role model for us, and we're taking a lot from your success and your mistakes.
Okay, that's very important. How many members do you envisage that the Eurasian Union would have in the future?
Well, we're an open club, if you will, of countries, and currently we have three. Armenia is on the way. We're currently realizing the roadmap for the accession to the customs union and economic union. Kyrgyzstan is also on the way. We're hoping to sign the roadmap for Kyrgyzstan's accession on the 30th of May during the presidential summit here in Astana. Of course, first countries are immediate neighbors from the CIS, Commonwealth of Independent States. So any country that shares values, which wants to be a part of this project, is welcome. And it's hard to tell how many, but I guess it depends on whether or not there is a willingness on their part.
How do you see the cooperation with the European Union?
Well, it's a big priority for all of our countries. The European Union is the biggest trading partner for the customs union as a whole, or for the Eurasian Economic Union as a whole, and except for Belarus, it's the biggest trading partner for all the countries individually. So of course the relationship with the European Union is very high on the agenda of every country. Well, so I guess we view it pretty much the same way we view the relationship with any other country or a trade bloc in the world. It has to be mutually beneficial. We have to abide by the rules of the WTO, and we have to, I don't know, maybe in several years' time, start thinking about liberalizing our trade even further. Because we have been I cannot remember what's the English acronym. The trade bloc that includes Switzerland, Norway.
European Free Trade Agreement.
Yeah. So we have been in contact with them, in negotiations with them, but for some obvious reasons currently that has been halted. But in any case, the crises come and go, and the economy always stays in place. So as I said, in several years' time, we need to start at least thinking about liberalizing our trade even further. What it will take to do that, I don't know. But you have your hands full with the transatlantic, and we have our hands full with finalizing our own internal arrangements. So once the dust settles, I think there will be willingness and appetite for dialogue.
You mentioned the transatlantic relation that the European Union has with the United States of America. What do you think that this transatlantic strategic partnership could do with the Eurasian region? How can it be benefiting?
It is. I think maybe it's too early to say about the effects of the currently discussed transatlantic agreement to the region. But definitely we are not viewing current negotiations between America and Europe as any kind of a threat to us. I mean, we welcome it. It's a very good thing. And of course, the I don't know, product specific analytics can be made only the results of negotiations are public, because I don't think many people in America or in Europe know what will be the final text, what will be the final agreement actually.
What do you think will happen with the other international organizations from the Eurasian region when in 2015 the Eurasian Union will become functional? And by the other organizations, I mean the Commonwealth of Independent States, the Russia-Belarus Customs Union, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, and the Eurasian Economic Community. What do you think will happen with those?
Well, the customs union between Russia and Belarus is fully integrated in the customs union for the Troika, and the Eurasian Economic what do you call it?
Committee.
Community has been partially integrated into the customs union. Some of their functions are now our functions. So. And it will be dissolved because there's no longer need for them, because we have their functions and we took it one step further. So with respect to the CIS, of course, it will remain in place because it is a platform for dialogue for 9 countries, and we have to have that. We have the free trade agreement within the CIS. And with respect to the security arrangements, of course, they will be in place. They're not affected by the economic union in any kind.
How do you decide what is the mechanism of decision making and decision taking within the Eurasian, the future Eurasian?
Well, we have a 2-tiered system. We have the Council, which is unlike in the European Union, is a deputy PM level. So in the Council we have 3 deputy prime ministers who represent the countries, and then we have the board, a member of which I am. And there are 9 of us, 3 from each country, and each member has one vote. The same for the Council.
And the vote is by unanimity?
In the council, it has to be unanimous, and in the board, it's qualified majority, 6 out of 9.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and we have a special document which defines what functions, what decisions are to be taken by the council, and what decisions are to be taken by the commission.
Okay.
So the more sensitive stuff, which can affect the countries harder, is to be taken first at the board level and then taken to the council, where it's consensus. But the board has some direct responsibilities. So the decisions that we take are to be implemented are to be realized, actually, not implemented in the countries.
What are the
directly.
Directly.
Without ratification and things like that.
Okay. What are the economic fields that you envisage the cooperation between the member states and the future member states?
Well, transport is very important because we have vast land mass. We were right in between China, India, and Europe. So transport, of course, is a high priority for us. Energy is also very high. So in terms of agriculture is another. Agriculture is one of the sectors that we can be competitive on the global stage. So I think if we unite our efforts, it will bear some dividend, bear some fruit for us.
Okay, and one final question. What message does Astana Economic Forum wants to transmit to the world? Because 3 days Astana is the center of the world. What message do you think that you want to send to the world?
Well, I think there is a very good saying by our president. He has always insisted that the economy should come first and the politics second. So in many ways, of course it's interdependent, right? Politics and economics, but in many ways the bad politics are influenced by bad economics. So if we join our efforts in improving the investment climate, business climate, and the lives of our citizens, then there will be no room for bad policy making in terms of politics. So economy first, politics second.
Okay.
That's the message.
Mr. Minister, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
And we will put this on CaleaEuropeana and we will send it to you also to see what we published.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you very much.